The room was a quiet, only the soft sound of their feeling the Jungkook on his still rising a fast, and Van rested against him, her cheek on his strong muscular arms wrapped around her tightly, almost protectively, as if he don't want the night to end. Van curled closer, tracing a small circles on his. Jungkook let out a low, shaky laugh and whispered, "Your dad should never left you with me." Van lifted her head slightly, looking up at him through the dim light. "But he trusts you, that's why," she said softly. Jungkook's jaw tightened. He pulled her even closer, eyes with a mix of guilt and "Trust me, and here I am," Jungkook muttered as he brushed his thumb over her voice. Jungkook continued, "His daughter, my best friend's daughter." Van looked into his eyes, unafraid, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I choose you." Jungkook's he cupped her face gently, his forehead hers. "That's the problem," he murmured. "I cannot stop you back." His arm tightened again, as if he was afraid that letting her go would everything. The sun was bright when Jungkook's Mercedes pulled up in front of the college gate. Girls instantly turned their heads because how could they not? He stepped out of the car and leaned casually against the shiny black door, scrolling through his phone, white shirt slightly unbuttoned, sunglasses on, tattoo hand holding the phone, silky hair perfectly styled like he walked straight out of a photo shoot. Vine was walking out with her friends laughing at something they said, but her steps slowed when she saw Jungkook waiting. Her lifted into a small smile until she saw her friends staring at him like they never seen a man before. Then Vine looked around. Literally every girl standing at the gate was over a Jungkook. Someone even whispered, "God, he's so." Another said, "Is he waiting for someone? Please let it be me." Vine rolled her eyes. She left her friends and walked toward him. Jungkook looked up the moment he sensed her. His curled into a soft smile. Vine crossed her arms and muttered, Who told you to look so much?" Jungkook blinked, frowning slightly in confusion. He opened his mouth to ask something, but Vine just sighed and went straight into the car. Jungkook put his phone away and followed, sliding into the driver's seat while removing his sunglasses. Jungkook glanced at her sideways. "What happened, doll? What were you saying?" he asked softly. "Nothing," Vine said, looking outside the window. But the moment the word left her mouth, Jungkook grabbed her jaw and pulled her and his onto hers. The was a quick but stilling and claiming. Jungkook pulled away slowly, eyes a smirk curling on his. Jungkook speaking, "We'll solve this matter in our, Vine's cheeks turned red instantly. She looked away, but she could feel his gaze through her because she exactly knew what he meant. After 3 hours, Jungkook woke up while Vine was still. Jungkook smiled and her forehead. Jungkook whispered. He admired her innocent face for some time before he got up and wore his shirt and went downstairs to make something to eat for it. Jungkook is the CEO and best friend of Van father. They both knew each other from the college time. Van father trust on Jungkook with his life. That's why he left Van with a Jungkook and went on the business trip. Van born when Van father was a 21-year old while Jungkook was a 20 years old. During the delivery time, Van mother due to weakness from that day, Van father alone raised Van. He did not marry with another woman because he Van mother so much. Jungkook was also with a Van father supporting him. So Jungkook know Van from the childhood. But as a Van grow up, her feelings for Jungkook change. After 18th birthday of Van, Van stopped hiding what she truly felt for Jungkook. From that time, Jungkook started to distance from Van because he cannot fall in love with his best friend daughter, and when he is the same age as a Jungkook means a dad age. Jungkook kept ignoring her for a 5 years, but without his knowing, he fall for her instead of ignoring her. He still did his best to stay cold with Hawaiian, but nothing worked in front of her. Jungkook was never in relationship before Hawaiian, nor he was interested in one-time things, so he never gets involved with any woman. Though his mom sent him lots of time on her, but those girls never able to grab his attention. Then his mom sent so Van were his first while he was the first of Van. In front of Van, he gave up hiding his feelings after 5 years. The front door opened and Van started walking with his suitcase. Princess, I'm back, he called. Van, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room, looked up with bright eyes. Dad, she ran to him and hugged him tightly, burying her face in his. Her dad smiled and hugged her back. Just then Jungkook came out of the kitchen, drying his hands on a towel. They all sat together on the sofa. How was the trip? Jungkook asked politely. It went well, her dad replied. They talked for a while before Wan's dad gently said, so Jungkook, we should leave. Come princess, let's go home. Jungkook nodded slightly as he don't want to separate from Wan. Thank you for taking care of this. Wan. Jungkook and Wan dad laughed while she pout after that. Wan hugged Jungkook briefly before leaving with her father to their own house. Later at night, Jungkook and Wan's dad, Jaehyun, sat at a table. Jungkook had a lot, but was still sober. He was used to it. Jaehyun was starting to get. Jungkook placed his glass down and finally spoke the word he had been holding. Wan dad blinked suddenly, coming to full consciousness. He stared at Jungkook. You know the age gap, Jungkook. I will never give my daughter to you. He stood up to leave, but Jungkook was stop him. Wan dad turned his eyes sharp and angry. She is still a child. She will forget you. His voice dropped cold. Never contact with Wan again. If you consider me your friend. Jungkook's heart cracked. He had expected this answer, but hearing it, Van Dad again took his steps to go, but Jungkook words halted him. I will stay away from Van, but I will never stop her or caring for her. Van Dad did not say anything and walked outside. 1 week later, Jungkook followed Jaehyun's words. He did not call Yan, ignore her messages. He even told her not to come to his house. Van thought he was just busy. She trusted him, so she believed him. Van stared at the test in her hand, positive. Her eyes filled with happy tears. Jungkook will be so happy. She rushed to his company, excitement filling her at Jungkook office. But when she pushed open the glass door, her heart shattered. Jungkook was standing with a woman, smiling, talking comfortably. Vance trembled. So this is where you are busy, Mr. Jeon. Her tears fell. Jungkook's eyes widened. He rushed to her, cupping her face, but Wan jerked his hands away. Were you behind my back? Jungkook said immediately, Wan sobbing, you said you, me, but you are laughing with another woman. Wan, she's my. Wan cut him off. Don't lie to me, Jungkook. I gave you everything. Before he could speak, the woman came over. She placed a gentle hand on Wan's shoulder. Relax, girl. I am Jungkook's little sister, Yeji. Wan went silent. She looked at Jungkook. Little sister. Jungkook nodded quickly. She's my sister. She came from abroad to visit me. She wanted to see the company. Yeji smiled sweetly. Don't worry, I trust my brother. He is not someone who. Wan felt her cheeks in embarrassment. Oppa, I am going home. Bring your girlfriend tonight. Mom will be so happy to see you with someone finally. Jungkook laughed softly and nodded. Yeji turned to Wan. See you tonight, my brother's soon-to-be wife. Wan's entire face turned red as a Yeji walked away. She turned to Jungkook with a small pout. Jungkook shook his head fondly, lifted her in his arms, and carried her toward his desk, placing her gently on top. Wan whispered, I'm sorry. Jungkook smiled softly. It was just a little misunderstanding. Just know I cannot anyone except you. Wan smiled and leaned forward and him. 1 week of missing him. Jungkook, her back forgetting everything until she whispered. Jungkook froze, remembering Wan dad's no, you should go home. But Wan did not listen. Jungkook helped her to put on her clothes. He buttoned his shirt still, and then the door opened. Wan dad stood there, his eyes frightened. He saw their messy clothes there. He understood everything instantly. His face turned red with rage. He stormed toward Jungkook and him across the face. Wan screamed, Dad! One dead fist slammed into Jungkook's face so that Jungkook stumbled backward, rose instantly on Jungkook's lower, dripping down his chin. Van gasped, stepping back in fear. Van Dad lifted his fist again, eyes with rage, but this time Van ran in front of Jungkook, spreading her arms protectively. Dad, no! Her voice cracked. You cannot. He is the father of my. Everything went silent. Van Dad froze in shock. Jungkook's eyes also widened. He had not processed the news until now. Before Van could even, Van Dad grabbed her arm and pushed her gently to the side. Move aside, Van. He walked straight to Jungkook and him even then before. Jungkook fell to his. Van screamed. Van Dad's voice shook with a mix of anger and betrayal. You could have waited. I was going to marry my daughter to you because her happiness means everything to me, but you made her like this. He Jungkook again. Jungkook did not raise a hand to stop him. He stood there, taking every father would react the same way. That's what he believed. But what about Vian? Her heart was breaking watching the man she slowly Vian's sobs grew louder. Both men finally heard her. They turned to her. Van's shoulders were shaking, tears falling non-stop. Even if you, I will still him. Jungkook's tightened, seeing her crying because of him. more than any punch. Van Dad's anger slowly softened. He let go of Jungkook and walked to his daughter. He cupped her face gently. Princess, don't cry. Van hugged him tightly. Dad, will you really not let me be with Jungkook? Van Dad sighed and wiped her tears away with his thumb. If my princess is happy, then I am happy too. Dad always give you what you want. Hmm? Van smiled through her tears and hugged him again. You are the best. Van Dad chuckled and her forehead. Then he turned to Jungkook, who stood there, but smiling softly because Van was okay. Van Dad pointed a finger at him. If you ever, my daughter, remember Jungkook, I can still out a man in one punch. Jungkook nodded instantly. You can trust me. I'll protect her with my life. 9 months later, the hospital room smelled fresh and Van, exhausted but glowing. In Van Dad's arm was a tiny newborn boy wrapped in a blue blanket. Van Dad held him carefully like a precious treasure. Jungkook's mom, dad, and sister Yeji stood around him, admiring the with wide smiles. Jungkook sat beside Van, holding her hand tightly. He leaned close and whispered, I was so tense for you. It was early. I regretted it so much. Van smiled softly and squeezed his hand. But now everything is okay. Hmm? Jungkook nodded, eyes softening. He leaned forward and her forehead gently. Their little family was finally complete.